brought him back.
I just
and
noticed
was like, oh, we can't fight that.
there's a spot here that isn't right, so that's upsetting. But okay, here we go. Round 2. So one of the things that is kind of unfortunate about this situation is that you're supposed. It is really hard to concentrate on what I'm saying whenever he's talking about One Punch Man or whatever the heck he's talking about in there.
Because he's mad that he missed a sale.
Okay, so a lot of people will use cardboard rounds and set them on top and on the bottom to guide where their scraper is supposed to go whenever they're doing their second coat, the outer coat of their cake. If you didn't notice, my cardboard round is slightly bigger than my cake because when I went to buy them at the store yesterday, at the same time that I got the turntable that's wrong, they only had them in 8 inches, and this is a 6-inch cake, so they're not the right size. So if I were to put one of my cardboard rounds on top of this cake, the thickness of the outer coat would be about 1 inch. So we're not doing that. I think that's right on my math, but yeah. So anyway, that's not what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have to eyeball it, and now I know for next time that I should probably go ahead and order those on Amazon, because like they had spots for 8, 10, 12, and 14, I think, and no 6. So I don't even own a 10-inch cake pan. The biggest cake pan I've seen is 9, and I've never actually seen anybody use that, so I don't know why they're so huge, but they're a lot bigger than I want them to be, so I'm just gonna have to order those. But yeah, okay, so we washed and dried everything. It's ready to go. Stirred that guy so that it's ready to go, and now we begin. I might not keep all of this filmed just because it's gonna be a long process probably, and I don't want to subject y'all to me just going at this for forever and a day, because I just have a feeling it's going to take a really long time. Part of that is because I'm a perfectionist, and part of that's because this is the first time I'm doing it, and there's just like a lot of things that go into it, and I just don't want y'all to be sitting here watching me silently seed at the cake for not doing what I wanted to do, what I wanted to do it. So yeah, so we're just gonna have to kind of see how this goes. I am realizing just how big a difference it makes to have a taller cake. I think I said that already in the first or the second little segment. The first segment of like the actual decorating that was going on. I was hoping that it would stay just paused, but I closed the camera app at one point while I had this chilling because I was just doing other stuff, and there it went. So continuity is not great here, but y'all are already aware of that, so I'm scared to death that one day I'm gonna end up being like not famous, but just like, you know, like where people other than my friends are watching this, because this originally started just because every time I entered the kitchen you never knew what was gonna happen, and so I just thought it was funny, and because just ridiculous things happen to me where it's just like I end up with, you know, with powdered sugar all over the floor, or, you know, I accidentally measure out, I used stevia in a recipe one time instead of sugar, and I did not read the back of the bag where it said, you know, for this much sugar, this is how much stevia you use, and so I put like way more sugar or stevia in a recipe than I needed, and I had to go and dig it back out. You know, just wild stuff happened. So I just started recording it because I thought it was funny and I wanted to share it with my people. So like I've mentioned this before, but like before quarantine, really the only reason, grab my scraper, that I was in the kitchen baking was because my sister was there, or my mom, or somebody. Usually it was Renee. That was just something that we would do together. She's the one that is, you know, commenting on all my videos and such things. But usually it was nay, but like it was a social activity. You know, I was in the kitchen not because I wanted to be baking, but because I wanted to be in there with my sister or my mom or whoever it was. So when I'm baking down here, it feels weird not to be like experiencing it with them. So I originally started doing this just to share with my mom, my sister, and my best friend, and that was it. And then like my brother and my dad would watch them too, because you know they were around, and that was the only reason why I started doing these. And I have to stop talking so I can concentrate on this. So this is where it's going to get tricky. I did not make it all the way around, but because my cake layers are so uneven and I have like a hole here at the bottom, I'm going to have to patch that back out. I don't have a line for it. This is where to stop. So what's going to end up happening is I have no idea how thick the icing on this cake is going to be. And I also, this is going to be a trip. Not having the cardboard round on top is going to make things really tricky as far as getting the top even. I gotta think about this, how I'm gonna make this work. I don't know. Also, innovation. I got a slightly, like, just barely damp rag sitting here instead of the paper towel that everything was sticking to earlier. So hopefully that'll be a little better. I think so. I was originally just making it for their entertainment and for, you know, just to make me feel like I was a little closer to them. If I haven't mentioned this, we live in Hawaii. We are, and like we're not from here. I don't look local anyway, but like I do know some locals that don't look local. I have a very good friend who's about as pale as I am, blonde. She's from here. She was born here. She's from here, and people often assume she's not local because she's white as they come. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that we are not from here. We are a military family, so we, for a little while longer at least. So we moved down here and got married a couple years ago. We've been down here for a little over 3 years. My 3-year anniversary was just a couple weeks ago, actually. We moved down here at different times. That's a whole thing. But we live fairly far away from our family. My parents and his parents both live in Tennessee, and that's where he's from. That's where he grew up, and lived his whole life until he joined the military. So yeah, we're really far away from people, and I am very, very extroverted, and I love my family, I love my people, and so not having them down here is even if I weren't extroverted, not having them down here would be tough. But yeah, so I just like to kind of, in a weird virtual way, share these experiences with them. So that's why this whole thing started. And I just started posting stuff on YouTube because I ran out of space on my Google Drive. Like I couldn't keep uploading it, so I just started putting stuff on YouTube. But what I've discovered is that just having things up on YouTube, random people come across this stuff and start watching it. So all that to say, eventually, I'm sure there are going to be random people that come across these things and who don't realize that this is not like a how-to cooking channel. This is just a watch me fail to cooking channel kind of thing, I guess, if you want to call it a cooking channel. And they're going to be like, dude, you're so unprofessional. You don't have all these things. It's like, look, I know. It's just, you know, this was never intended to be a profession or anything like that. I just kind of ended up here, and this is what's happened. So please don't bully me too much in general. Okay, let's do this.
just basically don't judge me too harshly, because this was never meant to be like a public thing. This was only ever meant to share with my family, and has just kind of become a thing that's now also online for like the entire world to see. I've got to get better at this. I say it during my first video ever making a cake. Okay. That's actually looking fairly alright considering what we're working with here. I'm gonna need to stir my my cream cheese sauce in here.
I was intentionally trying to shoot Lexi, she didn't say it.
Oh, no. I've been betrayed. Alright, turned it. This is not something that you really want to do. Like stopping and starting and stopping and starting, because it's gonna... That's better. Because if you stop and start, it like leaves lines, which you would kind of figure. But I have a non-cake turntable here, so we just kind of got to work with it. Okay, this is what's going to be the really, really tricky part, because I'm pretty... Well, maybe not. I think I'm going to have to add more to this, and then... This is a struggle, y'all. Because I'm totally eyeballing this, which is not really ideal. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna pause the video, and this is the kind of thing that we won't have to worry about as much in future, because the real camera is coming, guys. It's gonna be here in like, I don't know, like a week and a half, I think. So there may be one more video done on my phone, but after that we are going to like a real live video camera, and one of my boys is hopefully going to edit that for me. There might even be music. Let me know if you want me to put music in these, or not me, but my husbando over there, I think is the one that's going to end up editing these for me. The other person who offered at one point is in college, and college is weird enough as it is right now, and I don't want to add anything more on his plate, and I also don't know what his schedule looks like this semester, so I don't want to put too much on him, but it's just the distinction between whether college or work is more demanding right now, and right now down here work is not terribly demanding at the moment because we have gone back to almost completely shut down. Not that the military necessarily likes to listen all the time, but you know, it's thought that counts or something like that. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that I won't have to worry about as much in the future, and I can just stop talking for a moment and focus, and they can just skip over that or cut it out or whatever, and it won't be as big of a deal. But for right now, I'm going to pause this and mess with this stuff a little bit. I think I'm going to need to turn the light on soon. And see what happens. Maybe. Okay, so several scrapes and a few patches later. You really can't see that. I'm pretty okay with this. Pretty okay with it. It's a bit of a struggle, not having the round on top. It just makes it really difficult to, like, I'm just completely eyeballing it. So the sides are not going to be completely straight, and